Planet Dolan.
From stomping on anthills to bad backflip attempts, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about more of the weirdest things we've done to impress a crush. I'm Pringle1, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Mote-of-Lobross. When McCallum was in his early 20s, he had a huge crush on a girl who was a friend of a friend. One time, they were at a friend's party, getting pretty wasted. At one point, they were playing Truth or Dare, and it was her turn to ask McCallum the eponymous question. He took Dare, and she was unsure of what to dare him to do. McCallum's friends convinced her to pepper spray him. She asked him, "Are you sure?" 6 or 7 times, giving him a chance to pick Truth, but he said,
Yeah, sure. Not the first time I've been maced.
She did it, and as expected, it hurt like
Fuck!
The problem was it also had some stuff in it that dyed his face green and didn't wash off for weeks. Every time he came across a cop, they'd stop him and check his ID to make sure he didn't match the description of any suspects, which he thankfully didn't. It also turned out that she was into chicks. Number 9 was submitted by Moo Chicken 23. When he was at school, Dolan was on his phone during free time when his friend came up to him and told him that he should do something to impress Gooby. He gave Dolan some ideas of what he should do. Dolan said,
"I'll do a backflip off the second balcony."
His friend thought he was crazy, but Dolan said,
"Dude, have some faith in me. Tell everyone in the school except for the teachers."
He ran off while Dolan got ready. He came back with everyone from the school. The fun room below them didn't have a roof, so someone placed a trampoline on the floor to break Dolan's fall. When he jumped, Dolan landed on the trampoline. Hard. It was such a hard fall that he ended up breaking his ankle. At the end, it was worth it, because Gooby became his girlfriend. Number 8 was submitted by franticchild. Melissa was with her friends, waiting to see a school play. Her crush was there too. With his friends, she was chatting up with him and things were going good. He had some chips with him and she took a few to be playful. Playing around, he gawked and demanded she give them back. Melissa proceeded to eat the chips, but he still had his hand out waiting. So, she decided it would be cool to spit them out right on his hand. They both just stared at the mess. He had his jaw open, and his friend who saw the whole thing just said, "Dude, your art kids are weird." The doors to the play opened, so Melissa rushed in feeling so embarrassed, and her friends just laughed at her. Although she did eventually get together with her crush, she found that he was actually impressed and thought she was a badass. They've been together for 3 years. Number 7 was submitted by the Gatekeeper M8. So when Sid was in 7th grade, he wanted to impress this girl. They were having an academic celebration, which basically meant the entire school got to run around outside. So he was with the girl and a couple of her friends. They went to the dugout, which had an ant infestation. While they were
Fucking
around with the ant nest, Sid thought it would make him look cool if he stomped on it. Not thinking the plan through and wearing sandals, the
fuckers
swarmed up his leg. He had to dump his soda on his leg to get them off. Sid spent the rest of the day sitting on the dugout bench, fending off tears, feeling like
shit,
considering that the girl was trying desperately to comfort his poor ass. Luckily, she already liked him. Number 6 was submitted by shellzc. When Shima was in 7th grade, she broke up with a guy because she had a crush on his brother. She never cared to meet his family or even ask, so she didn't know he was her ex's brother. She decided that the only way she was going to get him to notice her was by going back to her ex, just to get close to her crush. So Shima started to go to his house to hang out with her crush's brother. She would sneak in her crush's room and leave little notes and gifts without telling his brother what she was doing. She thought that would make her crush happy, but he got creeped out and told her some not so kind words. Looking back on it now, she thinks it was a creepy thing of her to do. The guy stopped being her crush and she broke up with his brother 8 weeks after it all happened. Now she has a new crush, her best friend's brother. Ooh, Shima, that's so quick. Number 5 was submitted by professoarkuma. One time, to impress his crush, Elvin took her and her friends to the movie theater. One of them didn't have any money to get in, so he said, "Follow my lead." While giving his ticket to the ticket lady, he pretended to have his pants fall off, and then tripped. As he lay on the ground with his pants off, the girl walked past the lady without her even noticing because most of the people were staring at Helbin. He was hoping that by getting his crush's friend into the movie, she would notice and think it was cool. Helbin also just wanted to take his pants off. To this day, it's still one of his favorite things to do in public to get reactions. Number 4 was submitted by Lonehoof. In high school, Civil Spider wasn't the most popular kid. He did have a lot of friends who were considered rejects like him though. They were, and still are, really dependable friends. So when he wanted to ask a girl he liked, who was really friendly, outgoing, and into Pokemon to prom, he asked all his friends to dress up as Pokemon that she said she liked. Everything was set up perfectly. He got her attention in the hallway, and when she wasn't looking, all his friends surrounded her, dressed in Pokemon outfits. Spider said,
"When it comes to prom, I'll only take the very best that no one ever was. Will you go to prom with me?"
She said yes. The smile on her face made all the effort worth it. Number 3 was submitted by TheAnimuLief. In middle school, Pandora was a really shy kid who had a crush on an emo boy. One day, her friend Honeybits showed her stitches that she had drawn on all her fingers with a Sharpie. That's when Pandora got an idea. Later on at school, she drew lines on her hands to make them look animatronic. Pandora also did a cool effect where it looked like blood was leaking from the cracks. Honeybits knew her crush well, so she called him over and showed him her friend's hand. He only said, "That's cool." Not satisfied, about a week later, Pandora drew some creepy artwork of a decapitated head. That time he said, "Ooh, I like that, it's cool." She quietly said, "Thanks." But Honeybits had to explain that Pandora was diagnosed with social anxiety. He understood, though Pandora isn't sure whether or not he's her friend now. Number 2 was submitted by AlisonTheDork. When Ramona was 10, she brought in dead animals smashed in plastic. She would leave it on her desk to show off. It turned out that her crush loved reptiles, so she brought one in with a baby snake. When she showed it to him, he thought it was cool. He asked if he could keep it, but Ramona said no. He responded,
Shithead!
She never spoke to him again. Number 1 was submitted by me, your narrator, Pringle the One. The weirdest thing I did to impress a crush is when I went up to her and I told her, "Hey, you, baby girl, you looking real right today." And then she looked at me and she was like, "What do you mean, Pringle?" And then after I managed to get her within my grasp, I told her I'll spin around her 3 times. And then after I spin around her 3 times, she's gonna love me and my amazing smell of sweat all over her face. So then she said, "Ooh, I don't think that's something I'll like." And then I said, "Hey, baby girl, you will like this." And so I did it. After that day, she forever fell in love with me. And she knows it's all too true. Once you pop, the fun ain't gonna stop. Huge thanks for the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the dumbest thing you've ever experienced? Let us know on the Reddit page linked below, and you might be featured in a future countdown.
This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thanks for your support, guys.
Well guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. Peace.